In today's video, I'm going to focus on two brushes for applying your makeup. The first brush is going to be the detail brush. So the detail brush is one of our many double-ended brushes. It's my favorite brush for applying and blending out my contour because of this wonderful flat end of the brush. It really hugs your cheekbone beautifully, and it's just a great brush that makes contour application super easy. I'm also going to be using the blend brush. This is my favorite brush for applying and blending out my bronzer, my blush, and my illuminator. It has really soft bristles on it, and it's a tinier brush, and so it's really good for precise application. Everything's going to come out of one compact today, with the exception of my eyelashes, and of course I have my setting spray, so that way my makeup goes on and stays on all day long, and my perfector so that I can blend my makeup out beautifully. Before I apply anything on my face, I like to use a good primer. So our setting spray is a fantastic primer to use before you do your makeup because it's gonna help your cream makeup to go on and stay on like a dream. A lot of primers out there have silicone in them, and silicone mixed with our cream products will cause your cream to slip and slide on your skin, which obviously you don't want that to happen. So spray the setting spray on there, let it sit for a minute, and then start applying your products. So I did color correcting first. It is an optional step, but I used this color of highlight Mango underneath my eyes to color correct my dark circles. I have dark blue underneath my eyes, so I use an orange tone of highlight Mango to color correct the blue. And then I use this color of contour. This is Aspen, and I strategically applied a very thin layer of Aspen where I have my rosacea that pops up, and I have a little bit of breakouts and redness on my nose and on my chin. So I applied the thinnest layer of that. So when you look at my face right now, I have more of an even playing field. My skin is all more neutralized in color, so I can get to my foundation part. Color correcting is optional. Let me know if that's something you need, but I definitely love using color correcting before I apply my foundation. I'm first going to apply my main highlight to my foundation. So I'm going to use the larger end of the detail brush. I'm going to focus on the bottom part and dip right into my main highlight. I'm going to strategically apply my main highlight where I need coverage. So for me, that is going to be in the middle of my forehead, on my nose, on both sides of my nose, and my chin. If you're first starting off with your makeup and you're not sure where to apply your main highlight, then you can apply a thin layer all over. I'm going to use light dabbing motions when I apply this product because we don't want to swipe and show brush strokes on our skin. We're going to do dabbing motions because the brush is going to do all the work for you in applying it and blending it. I like to apply my contour after I've done my main highlight. So this is my contour. I'm going to take the edge of the detail brush and dip it into the contour. This is my favorite brush to apply my contour and blend it out because of this flat edge. So I'm going to apply my contour line on my cheekbone. I'm going to make sure it's a little higher because I'm aiming for that contour line to really give me some dimension on my cheekbone to make my cheekbone more prominent. This brush makes contouring so easy to do because of how gently it applies the contour and blends it out. So you can see it's already sculpting and lifting my face a bit. See that shadow line right there for where the cheekbone starts to where it stops. You want to make sure you don't put it too low because we want to make sure we're lifting everything up. I'm gonna move on to my accent brightening highlight. I'm gonna use the smaller end of the detail brush because it's really, really good for lightly applying your accent highlight. So this is my brightening highlight. It is lighter than my main highlight because there's certain areas of my face I want to brighten. So I'm very light-handed when I dip the smaller end of my brush into my accent highlight. And then I'm gonna focus just placing that accent highlight in strategic areas to brighten. So you can already see the difference that that's making. I'm very light-handed applying the accent highlight. I'm not going all underneath and putting a lot of product underneath my eyes. I'm more so focusing that brightening highlight where I need to brighten. So for me, that's the inner corner and down a bit, and then a little bit on the outer end of my eye, just to give me a little bit of a lift. I also like to apply that accent highlight in my T-zone, down the bridge of my nose. And then for me, because my neck is so much lighter than my face, I'm gonna put a little bit of that accent highlight underneath my contour on my cheekbone to make it more prominent. I have my damp perfector. I'm going to dab and bounce that on my skin to pick up any excess makeup now that I'm done with my foundation. And then I'm gonna use my setting spray, spray that on my face and let it set for a minute just so that I can set my foundation so it doesn't go anywhere and it lasts all day long. After you use the setting spray is when you would use a setting powder if that is your preference. So you would use a setting powder if you have oily skin or you want a matte finish. So we have vanilla dust that comes in a tin, or you can use a loose powder. I always recommend use any kind of powder products after you set your makeup with a setting spray. I've used my setting spray to set my makeup. I've used my setting powder to control my oily skin down. So now I'm gonna apply my bronzer. I like to apply bronzer to warm my face up. So I have bronzer on my neck so that my neck and my face are gonna match up in color. That way they're not too extreme colors. Any of the brushes work great for applying your bronzer. Of course, I would say the detail brush is probably not the best brush to apply your bronzer. So I'm gonna switch brushes and use the blend brush. I love this brush for applying my bronzer. I'm gonna use the fluffy end and go straight into, I have a little concoction right here. This is Bella Bronzer mixed with Glow Illuminator. So when I mix these two colors together, magic happens. So I'm gonna dust that bronzer off on the back of my hand a little bit and hold the brush a little further away from your face and just start swirling that bronzer right on top of your cheekbone, and we're warming the face up. You see what that's doing? It's just giving me some color. I'm also gonna apply that bronzer on the top of my forehead and just warm the face up. I'm gonna use that same brush, the blend brush, and apply some color onto my cheeks. So I'm using the color Hollywood today, just a super pretty pink. I'm gonna smile, and then I'm gonna blend that color Hollywood up into my cheeks just to give myself a nice pop of color. Just gonna take my multitasker brush. You could use your finger, and I'm gonna apply some color on my lips. I'm just gonna use that same color Hollywood since it's right there in my compact and make it easy peasy. The last thing I'm gonna add is my Illuminator. So I love to use Illuminator to give that pop of brightness. Same brush, that blend brush. I'm using the powder one, Starlit. If you have a cream one, just use your finger to apply it. So I like to just light-handed apply your powder illuminator to the top of your cheekbone for that catch of light. And then if you want, you can use it bottom of your nose. You can also use it a little on the inner corners of your eyes or along your brow bone. And then I have a little bit of it on the center of my lips for an ombre lip effect. Okay, that's that. I did my makeup, one compact. This was palette 12, and it had everything I needed in it, from my color correcting, my 3D foundation, and then my blush and lipstick, my illuminator. And then these are the 4 eyeshadows I'm wearing today. can customize any eyeshadows you want. My brow filler, just to have a more framed brow, and then my eyeliner and my brow wax. Everything right there with the exception of my eyelashes and my mascara. Then I use the detail brush to apply my 3D foundation, and this is my favorite brush for applying and blending my contour out, and the blend brush for applying and blending out my bronzer, my blush, and my illuminator, and of course, my setting spray. So if you'd like to get started with Seint, reach out to me. I'd love to help you. I'd love to help you with your makeup routine. And if you don't own the detail brush, you might want to consider adding it so that you can get your contour exactly how you want it. And you can have you can add some more dimension to your face.